where back in the 80s, real quick, the culture was, drugs, sex, and rock and roll. That's changed because of all the casualties and because of all the health issues, because of all the problems that came with it, and we've learned from our mistakes, or at least some of us have. So, you got to change with the times. You're going to be left behind, I think.
Yeah. What I wanted to ask you, because you just talked about WWE nowadays in 2019, what is your view on this WWE AEW thing? Have you seen the AEW show, or have you heard about it, or what's?
I have, and I wasn't sold on it right away, and I don't know how long, but at the same time, there's a buzz, and that's a good thing. So whether they succeed, or not, they've already succeeded just by running the shows they have. I didn't give TNA 2 weeks or a month, but I guess they're still running, and that's great. So these guys, AEW, had the balls to go out and actually break away and say, we're going to start our own company. And if you want to come. They got guys like Jericho and Ambrose and or Moxley, and other guys will be on the way once their contract's up.
Yeah.
So I think it's great to have somewhere else to go, and I think it's great that the guys are looking at it as a viable option, because there's no excuse me, there's no pardon me, there's no other place. The independents are great, but you really need TV, and you really need to have somebody that's stable in backing it, and creative people, and I think they do. I think they have all that in AEW. So I'm excited to watch it grow, and I hope it does.
Because I always had the feeling who am I? But like in the last year, I had the feeling that most of the wrestling know-how is somehow grouped around WWE, and that's why I was like worried that maybe is there enough like creative people that understand wrestling so much. But thinking about it, I think there are enough people out there, like you, for example, that understand it. Or what's your opinion about that? Is there like how's the know-how distribute?
Well, here's the thing. I really do believe you have people that can think outside the box, and I wasn't actually too sold on the Young Bucks when I first saw them. And I don't know, but it's obvious now they have an audience, they have a niche, so they have a creative mind. I think Dustin, and I think Cody both have creative minds. Chris Jericho is unbelievable, and Moxley, I think, also has a pretty creative mind. So that's where it starts, and also starts if you do your marketing research, which I believe they're doing too, finding out what the people are into, finding out what the fans of today are into. They don't want the same old. And I think I read last week where Terry Funk said, WWE isn't fresh. AEW is fresh right now, so it'll get some eyes and curious onlookers to see what they're into. And whether or not they sell to them or not, whether or not they buy it, it's up to speculation, I guess, because they're not going to give up, and that's a good thing. And Tony Khan has the money, and that's a good thing too. So I think there are enough creative people. I think there are enough people who care and want to see something else happen, besides having everything centered around WWE. And that way again, it's good for everybody. It's good for WWE to be challenged and be pushed, and it's good for AEW because the guys can go and be creative and not worry about making the wrong people mad. And well, I mean, I guess you actually do. You have to worry about that all the time. But I think AEW is going to give them a little more flexibility to experiment and try things, and if it works, it works.
Did you? So you said you've seen AEW. What do you think about Dustin and Cody match? Because I thought, I don't know. I felt like it like I was sitting in a time machine somehow.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. And once again, I'll say this too: what's old is new, but also what's real is real. What's passion is passion, and I think that's what those guys did. Is they put realism and passion into it, and that's the difference today, I think, with a lot of guys. You have to feel it and you have to believe it when you step in the ring. Back in the old days when I was growing up, that's what you had to do. You were still in character, you felt it, and you believed in the kayfabe and all that other stuff. Well, that's how Dustin and Cody are too, and that's what the dream was. You brought that realism, you brought that passion into your match and into your life, and that's the other element they have, and I think they've even made the statement: you need something for everybody on this card and on this show. So I believe they're going to give it for the old school fans, and they're going to give it for the new school fans too. Is there a place for the Young Bucks comedy in there? Well, there's a place for it, and the people are buying it right now. Will they continue to buy it? We'll see. I mean, I thought, once again, to pull it off the way they pulled it off was pretty cool on many, many fronts and many levels, because they still love the business, and it's obvious. You can tell when somebody's just going halfway, and you can tell when somebody really wants us to work and they're putting their heart and soul into it. And I believe they are. They're putting their heart and soul into it.